Welcome to the Gentleman's Talk, where the podcast talks about a man's battle with mental health, his personal experiences, and his journey to be a better soul. Hosted by James Dean Littlejohn.
Hi everyone, welcome to the Gentleman's Talk. How are we? Hope you're all okay. And here we are on the hump day of the week, Wednesday, and I've selected my beverage of choice for the evening to be gin. I think this is probably the first time since the weekend through that drink, the dragon's soup. Is still there, I think. I think it's still accustomed to having a little bit of it swirling around my veins. Every now and then I get a heart palpitation. But anyway, I chose gin and tonic, something a bit fresh. It was a warmer evening. I can feel we're on the cusp of spring, my favourite time. I was going to actually sit down to the new season of Rick and Morty. But I'll watch that after, because I really wanted to talk about this. Just some tips and tricks, for sort of supporting your friends, really. It's going to be a bit of a weird podcast for me, because I'm usually I just talk straight from the heart, straight from the brain, memories, all the good stuff, So I don't know. But I was sent this by a friend of mine, who had listened to my podcast and actually said, "Oh, have you thought about these?" And as always, I'm always engaging with any feedback that I can get hold of, anything that somebody, might want to sort of talk about. And then I saw this picture, which is a poster with 20 different tips, top tips for supporting a friend. And what I want to do really is I just want to kind of run through them, sort of kind of one by one, and try and give my experience on what I do, what I don't do, and maybe even learn myself. I'm not sure. As always, every day's a school day. If you're not learning, you're not progressing. Anyway, so I'm kind of going to get sort of stuck straight in, really. And just for anyone that hasn't, or just kind of missed, or a little refresher. This is a really big part, a really big topic of mine. And most of the positives, in fact, if not all positives, have always had this incorporation and encompassed in, that word friend. And we're all reliant on friends. We don't realise how friends are a relationship in their own right, aren't they? Friendship, relationship, sort of kind of partnership. It's all encased in that same category, really, isn't it? And I very much look at my friends. I've always looked at life with regards to, if I've got loads of friends and I've got hundreds of people on social media, thousands even, or I'm chasing followers and all this, and I've done that for the best part of most of my adult life, or certainly since Facebook first came on. I think, the first way that I interacted was MySpace. That was taking some time back then, but that was actually how we organised my first school reunion. It was it was our 10 years. Was it 10 years? So it would have been 26. Yeah, it would have been our 10-year anniversary. So yeah, it would have been 26. So in 26, just before, so that would have been, 1997? No, 2007? I don't know, I can't remember, 27. 100. I don't know. It's about, anyway, it's 20. I can't even work out the dates. That's crazy. I'm not very good with maths, as you've just discovered there. Anyway, someone will tell me tomorrow from the feedback, and I love that. So work it out for me, thanks, because I want to get stuck into this project and this topic. So that's a long time ago, and that was MySpace. But and even then I was growing, and you were getting involved, and I had MSN Messenger, and that was the first thing, that sort of kind of way of interacting. You were almost meeting people around the world, and you were like, hello, what do you mean you're in Brighton or whatever? Do you know what I mean? Or you're in Birmingham, or, you know, Scotland, whatever. You know, you're literally just, you know, talking. I just realised that was all the bees as well there. I don't know why I was thinking of the bees. But yeah, you know, you kind of, that was the first way really of connecting with people outside of your you know, your local network. So there's a lot of generations that will listen to this that won't realise that we didn't have that connection. So for us, it was new. It was almost like, you know, you see 300 friends, you know, on your friends page, and like, oh God, you know, everyone likes me. Wow, that's amazing. And nowadays, you know, most people that have probably grown up with it, because they've grown up with it right from a young age. Excuse me, I've got a tickle in the throat. And that was my gin. Happy Wednesday. But yeah, you know, 300 to nowadays is, you know, sort of kind of unheard of, as in like there'll be 3,000 and that'll be their standard. But I mean, I can see the benefits to it, because, you know, there's people that I knew when I was younger, that I grew up with, you know, my first kiss and all that sort of good stuff, you know, and your first sort of kind of real best friend. And, you know, there's a lot of things that you know, I suppose as you get older, you hold on to the past harder, don't you? Because you want to keep remembering, because you get into the point where you don't make as big of memories, and you know, you don't also, everything sort of slows down, doesn't it, as you get older. But anyway, I digress again. I keep digressing, but we look at that, and anyway, going back to the topic, and as I've come back round again, yeah, I've removed myself because I've realised that actually, for me personally, I mean, I don't know, I think it has a lot to do with the problems of the generations today, you know, but that's a personal opinion. Okay, that's not a generic feeling, and I've not researched it anywhere, but I think a lot of it is to do with that. I think that friends nowadays you seek so many of them that you don't know who is toxic, you don't know who is having their own problems, you don't know who loves you, who's taking advantage of you, because you're just surrounded by all these people that, and they all sort of take in their own right, and they take a snippet of your day every single day, and you know, that can be quite draining, as I've realised now, and I'm a very social person, so it's very difficult for me to come off social media. And I recently come back on Facebook, actually, because on the back of sort of last weekend and meeting and that friend of mine, I didn't want to lose touch with him. So, you know, I've used Facebook now as, like, you know, I think it was like 600 people, and I got it down to about 300, and then I got it down to about 150, and now I'm at 16. So it goes to show how I know I've not interacted, and trust me, all of those have been removed in one gollop. You know, gollop. Is that even a word? Gulp. I had to do it to make sure I was making the right sound. Gulp. Yeah, that's right. There you go. Weirdo. And yeah, so none of them have texted me or messaged me. So, you know, that just goes to prove. Now, you know, there's a lot happened in that in the last 3.5 months. You know what I mean? But I certainly feel more positive about myself because I've just removed myself away from the toxic life or the toxic side of things. There's people I still miss, and there's people that I still want to reconnect with, but I know that I don't think I ever will, and that's just what I need to kind of deal with. I'm kind of a bit saddened that one of my friends has kind of lost touch with me, and I don't know why, which is a couple of little things have knocked me back a little bit in this journey I'm going through. But at the same time, I've found solace in really good friends. And, you know, obviously one of my mates has always been there for me and always will, and that's the fantastic thing I've ever had. But I've met other people now, and do you know what I mean? I kind of just, you know, plod along with it really. But yeah, I feel better to myself, and those other little snippets, those other little down bits that get me a bit down at times, they'll come around eventually, you know. And if they don't, they don't. You know, you can't always get closure, and you can't always kind of know what path you're going to be on, really. You just have to take it as it comes and and react when the problem occurs, you know? Anyway, so friends. And I'm surrounded by people, and I think this is why this is going to be really good for me to look at and try and get involved with, because, you know, supporting friends is a really big thing, isn't it? And as I've whittled down to people that I really care for, and that was what that whole topic was about, really. Since I've moved myself down to find those people that really care for me and are invested in my well-being because they know I'm invested in theirs, and that's what it's about, really. Because you wouldn't look at a relationship and go, you know, oh, I'm gonna have a girlfriend, and then I'm gonna get a fiance, wife, whatever, you know. However, whatever you choose, you know, I'm not talking about just the gender of topic. I'm talking about because I'm a male and I'm attracted to females, so that's the easiest reference. But you go along those lines, and none of those times when you get a partner do you ever look at the negative sides, do you? You try to always remain positive and always go that she'll always support me, look after my well-being, and we'll work as a team. Now, I find it very hard that, because I treat everybody like that, and that's the way I've always treated people. I'm very, very caring, and I do wear my heart on my sleeve. And I can be easily not offended. I can't be easily offended. I can be easily hurt. You know, I do. You know, I literally sent my dad a message the other night because I'd had a long day and I kind of missed seeing my dad, and I wanted to catch up with him. And I don't know. I just kind of sat there in the evening. It was Monday night, and I'd had a really long day, and I just missed that. I missed, because I had a year with him, walking nearly every day and having banter, that I enjoyed it, because there was never any judgment from my dad, you know, and he helped me through, you know, a really big transition in my life. You know, he was ultimately there every day for my transition from a really toxic, horrible time to trying to better my life. So, you know, I do crave that still. Hence why, you know, I'm actually going to go and spend the day tomorrow, because I want to just kind of catch up and you know, sort of kind of have a good chew the fat, you know, just have a good time. Anyway, so I've nurtured that, and I always look at friends in the same way as a relationship. And if they're not giving back to me, or not giving to me, or not giving, I say giving back because I will always give, you know, I'm not selfish. But if they're not giving back in some sort of way, and I'm not giving back, then we're not 100% invested. So that if you were getting cheated on by your girlfriend, or you were getting treated like absolute crap, or spoken to like crap, or there was nothing there, you wouldn't stay with that person, would you? Some people are forced into that, I get that, but you would try to get away from it, you know. So there's no difference in a friendship, really, because it's still in that category, it's still in the ship category. You know, so you need to nurture that around you, and sometimes people can turn toxic. I've certainly turned toxic, and I've lost friends because I was toxic, and I accept that. Do you know what I mean? I do accept that I've lost friendships, I've lost relationships, because I haven't been the person I have been I should be for the last 10 years, and I really haven't. I'm changing now, and I have just an amazing outlook on life at the moment. I really do, and I'm hoping it stays. But it's just because I'm trying to look after myself. And friends are in that such a big category for me, that I genuinely get destroyed when a friend of mine treats me like crap, or basically shits on me, or, you know, takes advantage of me, whatever, you know, emotionally or financially, you know, whatever they want to do. I get really offended by that, because I'm, you know, if a meal, we were splitting a meal with a friend, and you know, I didn't have as much as him or whatever, I wouldn't ever quibble to me. I'd pay half. Do you know what I mean? I'm not like that. And also, you know, if someone bought something for me and it was, you know, I don't know, 18 quid and I only had 20 quid, I'd be like, keep the 2 quid, mate. I'm not really fucking bothered. Do you know what I mean? And I don't mean that in an arrogant way. I mean that like, I'm not going to ask you for 2 quid back, buddy. You know, some people, I'm not like that. I'm constantly always, you know, that's why all my proper true friends will have something from me, you know, and rest assured, there's a couple that haven't yet, but, you know, you will get something from me, trust me. You know, it's just we haven't crossed paths yet. But at the same time, yeah, it's really important to me to, you know, sort of nurture that environment the same way I would about a partnership, friendship, you know. I'll nurture it in the same way. And I didn't used to do that because I used to look at, I've got so many people. I've got like 400 people on my Facebook. They all love me. They're amazing. Oh, let me say happy birthday. And then you don't get a happy birthday back and all this. And then it just goes, they don't give a fuck about you, mate. The reason you've not seen most of them since 1996 or whenever you left school is because they don't care. They've moved on. They've done another path. And I've never really realised that. I've always tried to hold on to that past, and it's really toxic to do that. And you go, actually, fuck you, we're on different paths. And recently that happened to me when me and my really good fucking friend didn't get invited to a local party. And local, I mean local as in the kids we all grew up with, had a get-together and didn't invite us to. Now, could look at that as, they saw sense, because when me and Kieran my mate Kieran get together, we are fucking animals. So I get that, probably why. But still, Jack, from a male perspective, and I don't look at it from, the female perspective or the weak, as I call them, not the weak, the women, as in like the weaker sort of men. They're going to be there for me because they're like, I don't like them because they're fucking a bit pansy-ish, And I get that. So, but there was some really good friends in that group that turned up. One of them was an ex-veteran, and it really upset me that we didn't get invited to that. Really upset me, and that sort of kind of was the nail in the coffin at Christmas last year when me and my friend decided to talk about it, because we were like, "Oh, you noticed it?" I was like, "No, I didn't," but showed it, and then it made us realise then that we were nurturing really toxic people, and we both went from, all these people that we thought loved us and liked us and wanted to talk to us to 16 people, and he's about the same, and he's literally just family and each other on our Facebooks. Now, that's why now I'm down to next to nothing, because I've nurtured and I've weeded out all the people that I think, not toxic, because some of them I've weeded out aren't toxic, and I need to caveat that a little bit, actually, because I don't want to sound depressing all the time. But also, some of the friends, they're not ready to help themselves, and I need to caveat that, because I can't help them because I'm on my own self-healing journey, and I can't be around them because I know they're negative. And until they're willing to put them, money where their mouth is and go and get sorted and take the right action, then I can't help them, and I don't want to be around that. And that's almost a selfish approach, but at the same time, no, because I've done so many mental health and well-being courses that is the first thing they tell you to do. And I never did it. And now I've gone, actually, I'm just going to literally hang around with people that want to be there and have a good time, because I don't want to listen to moaning. I don't want to socialise with people that want to bitch and moan about work. I don't want to go into work and listen to... Because we just hear about moaning, weather, work, oh, the fucking drive, oh, the fuel, oh, fucking... And it's just moan, moan, moan. So when you see your mates, you're like, actually, mate... Put the shit to bed, clock out, let's just have a good fucking time. And you just chew, and 9 times out of 10, when they're the right company and you're in your little collection, you've got old memories to talk about, and that's what friendship's about, isn't it? Friendship's about getting together, having a drink, drinking to excess, who cares? It's just having a good time. Knowing that you can crash on the floor, wake up the next morning and go and know that you had a really good fucking time. And that is so important, to be around people that you can trust to do that, and know you can trust to look after you, and know you can trust to make those memories. And you'll sit there chewing the fat, talking about memories, popping up, bit of karaoke, whatever, good food and good chats. And that's what it's about. Friendship. Any way you do it is brilliant. Anyway, I spoke to you, dribbled on. So this is what it's about. So I've given you a massive background, almost half of it, but that's pretty good. So I'm going to talk about this. So top tips for supporting a friend. Number 1, listen and be non-judgmental. Can't even see it, it's right in front of me. Agree. Not going to dwell on that too much, because I absolutely agree. We shouldn't be judgmental. If you're a friend, you should be non-judgmental. It's just across the board. Absolutely 100%. Never judge a friend. If you're judging that person, or being judged, you're not friends. It's as simple as that. And that is as cutthroat as it gets. I would never, ever go in and I would never walk in and judge my friends. I wouldn't walk in the house and judge their house or judge them or judge their process or judge whatever they do. Unless, of course, it's just, that's age-old fact that, I would only judge them if they were doing something criminal or something that was just wrong. But then, that's never going to happen. But do you see what I mean? That's the extremities of how I would never judge a friend. You should just be impartial. The amount of times that I've had, a night out with proper friends, and the next morning we don't talk about the night. It's not like that. You don't dwell on it, or you just dwell on it, but you pick out the good bits. You never talk about the bad bits, because it was what it is. You put it in the past and you move on. So yeah, never judge someone, because you've never stepped, not until you've walked at least 2 steps in their shoes, you know what I mean, to understand what they're going through. So I agree. Number 2, stay in touch. Ask your friend how they are and be honest. And that is a good... Do you know what? I do this a lot now, okay? I stay in touch with the right people and almost daily talk with the people that I talk to all the time. They're the ones I engage with all the time. I've got a good group of friends that, that we talk to every day or at least once a week. Maybe not verbally, but text messages and banter and all that. And that's what it's about, isn't it? And be honest. I'm being so honest now. It's actually quite scary. In a good way. But I certainly, if someone asked me, you're doing this or doing this wrong, or I'm doing this, and I wouldn't, I'm quite honest now. I'm quite to the point where I agree with that. You should just go, I think you're doing that wrong, mate, or okay, mate. And if you're non-judgmental and a true friend, you can take that honesty and you can take that and, not look at the negatives from it, look at the positives from it. So, yeah, I agree with that. I do agree. That's brilliant. Right, number 3. Suggest doing new things, day trips, introduce your friend to new events. That is an incredible statement right there, because that couldn't be more true. It just couldn't be more true. It's amazing, because I've experienced this firsthand. Like I went and randomly texted my friend one night and said, "Dude, 68 quid. I know it's a lot, but I've booked us Tenacious D. I want to book us Tenacious D tickets, because we always listened to Tenacious D when we were growing up, and they were playing. So I was like, I'm going to get them. And I was prepared to pay, but I said to him, do you want to go? And all these times I do this. I think that everybody needs to do that, though, because it's really important that everybody tries to introduce new things. Like I said, this weekend, absolutely smashed out of the bag. I went to do something I haven't done in almost 11 years and did it appallingly, to absolutely loving shooting with another friend who's come up and go shooting. And I'm like, that's absolutely amazing. And I never would have done that. I've gone and played a round of golf and ended up getting absolutely smashed at the end of it. So I've had an amazing experience from that. I've done loads of these. I've played all sorts of, I play top golf, fishing, wakeboarding. So I do that a lot. And I always invite people along with me 110%, because I believe that everybody should experience as much as they can in life. One of my biggest struggles is I worry I won't get to experience everything in life. And that is a proper, genuine worry from me, because I want to experience as much. And you can take that to as high as you want in your thought processes. I just want to have a good time. I believe I want to experience life. I haven't experienced life because work dominated the first 20 years of my working life. Has all been dominated through work. The last 10 years through depression. So I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be this down person. I want to go out. I want to explore. I want to meet people. I want to have fun. I want to experience new experiences. Bungee jump. I did skydiving the other year. I just want to have a good time. If someone's got something to do, I think you should always invite your friends along. Always invite your friends, because it is a must. And even if they think it's going to be crap, they won't be crap, because they're going to be either watching you do the sport and watching how it's properly done because it's something you enjoy, or you're just going to go along for the chill, just enjoy the day. Sometimes it might be a bit mundane, but lessons learned. I mean, I got invited to walk up Snowdonia once, and I went there and I got up there and got back down. and I never want to fucking walk up a mountain again in my life. So, you know, I've learnt that, but I had a good time. It was a good laugh, and it was a good crack, and I'm still talking about it now, you know, years and years and years later, and I talk about that experience, you know, so it meant something to me, you know. Pissed me off a little bit because I was the sort of kind of younger person in the squad, so I had to drive back where they all had a beer, which was a bit shit, but anyway, I wouldn't do that now. Trust me. So yeah, really, really, really important to invite people to that. I agree with that. Suggest trying out a local support group to strengthen connections. Okay, well, I'm going to be honest. For me personally, absolutely not. I get it if you want to do that. I think we're so forced into tight communities now that, and very diverse communities, that it is quite hard to go to that, and that's a bit of an old way of looking things. Especially when I'm saying I'm going to want to be social, but for me personally, the word support group just didn't sit right, if I'm honest, because I've done support groups, I've done group therapy before, and it's horrendous. So yeah, I don't know. Not something I'd recommend. I'm a bit stumped on that one, but I'm going to move on. But maybe someone can persuade me. But I see its purpose, but I don't at the same time. For I've had such negative experience with group supports. You know, group support groups, or I've had such bad experiences with that, because the last thing for me personally is I want to sit into a group and listen to everybody that is depressed talk about how depressed they are, and talk about their stories of how they're depressed and how they got depressed, to come round for me to then say, well, I'm depressed as well. And I get the purpose because it's talking, but I also think that's a really old, dare I say it, shit way of doing it, because we've realised now that, I mean, if you're going to something like called Alcoholics Anonymous, and you're in a group with a load of alcoholics, you're going to go and leave there, and then you're going to all get drunk. You know, if you go to a sex addict class, you know, you're going to all leave and probably have sex with each other. Do you see the pattern here? You know, if you're going to all go there and you're all going to be depressed, and you listen to somebody talk about their depression for an hour to 2 hours, you're going to want to go home and kill yourself, aren't you? It's not a very positive way of dealing with things, group therapy. I don't agree with it. I just don't. I had 38 one-on-one therapy sessions, and they were so beneficial to me. I'm using the tricks now that I learned a few years ago from it, but I wasn't in the right place to develop those coping mechanisms and use them properly, like I am now with cold water therapy, and, you know, keeping my mind active all the time. If I'm not active in my mind, I go a bit stir crazy. So yeah, 100%. You know, I just don't agree with it. But anyway, we'll move on. Number 5, a nice surprise. Bake or cook your friend's favourite food. Now, this is an interesting one for me, actually, because do you know what? My old work, which I fucking loved it. I really did. It was like a family to me, and it's a shame that it's not like that now, but I guess that was probably me substituting my own life for that life, and that's why everyone felt amazing, and now they just go to work, and it's never nice to do that, but I enjoyed it every day. But we did this, and we all used to bake something that we liked and bring it in, and it's like a show and tell. So we'd all have a little bit of each other's food, and it was all homemade, handmade, with your own ingredients and whatever you want. So we all picked like a pudding or a starter or a main. And do you know what? It was absolutely incredible. I'm not going to lie to you. We went in, and because we all mucked in, and I do miss that, because I don't think I'll ever get that back, because I think we created it, you know. There is probably people that do that, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying we created it, you know. It's not the best thing since sliced bread, trust me. But what I mean is, it's not standard practice. Like I said, I treated my old work like a family. So, but I loved the thing of it. I loved the thought of it. Would I see myself doing that for a friend? I think I would do that for any of my close friends. So yeah, I would. I agree with that, actually. You know, I don't look at that as like a work thing, because I confused myself a little bit there. But what I actually meant was, Yeah, agree. If you're going to go around and see your friend, I mean, I certainly, one of my best friend, his wife makes a dream cake, and I think she makes like a Rocky Road or something as well. But absolutely. And I went round to their house for the her version of Nando's, and do you know what? It blew me away. Absolutely amazing. Tastes exactly like it. Super hot, coleslaw, lovely. It was just absolutely, do you know what? Amazing evening. And to get that as well, go around and get that experience. I don't think we do enough of it, actually. Invite people around for dinner. Because it is you are presenting. Come dine with me, mate. Come dine, man. Shit, that's really bugging me that I haven't done that. I lose track of things. I'm learning from this. This is incredible. So yeah, if you've got a friend and you make something, bring it round. I mean, if I was the way I'd probably adapt that a little bit would be like I'd invite you around for a barbecue. So say for instance, I'm having a party on Friday, for instance. So you could use an event like that. Say I've made such and such. But what I would traditionally do is a barbecue, and you go, right, well, he makes legendary deviled eggs, and he makes coleslaw, and he makes potato salad. My old dear's fucking potato salad, man, blows my mind. Like literally, I think I have put on so much of my weight and can't get off because every time she makes it, I literally ram it down. As soon as I walk into the house when we're having a barbecue around my parents' house, so the first thing I do, I beeline for the potato salad, and then I fight like a madman with my sister to who's going to get the majority of it. I always win, but she doesn't know that because I always sneak a bit into a bowl before it gets split. But hey, c'est la vie. We've got to do what you got to do. It's a doggy dog world. Let me take a sip, man. Let me take a sip. I'm getting a bit parched. Hold on. Oh, just a little live now. That's lovely. Oh, that is nice. Such a refreshing drink in a gin. Anyway, so here we go. So yeah, I agree with that. It's really good. Really good. I like that. Oh, this might be a bit dirty for a few people, but again, this is great because this is working mind over, and I do a lot of this now. So suggest doing a physical activity, a meditation app, yoga, going to the gym, or fitness class. Now, I always say meditation, don't I? Meditation, reflection. I call it reflection. I don't really call it meditation. I don't know why. I can't get past the bit and sitting with your crossed legs. In fact, the symbol on this thing is actually, someone sat in a meditation state with their knees crossed. But anyway, so yeah, meditation, reflection is really important. Anyone listening to this podcast will know they should be doing that by now. And if you're not, I'd be questioning why you've not listened to me and taken that 15 minutes to your time to yourself. I know it's hard to forget it, but keep in your routine, people. You shouldn't have to rely on me to tell you. But I will tell you, keep that reflection time. You need that 15 minutes. Like I say, I walk my dog. Do whatever. You can go for a walk around the block. So literally, have a shower. Like I have a shower, pot and slogs. I've really got to the point where I'm not lying to you. I don't fucking care what I look like anymore. I not in a bad way. I always care about what I look like. I'm very. Oh, I must be 40. That's early. Excuse me. Pardon me. Unedited and raw. That's when you're getting a professional experience, don't you? It's really riveting stuff. So anyway, meditation app. Yeah, meditation, reflection. It's really important to do that. And I've taken up yoga now. So I do yoga 2-3 times a week. Just in the house. Don't need anything. Just need a bit of space and a fucking YouTube channel. We've all got smart TVs. Fitness class and gym. Well, we all know, everybody knows well-being is all about exercise. I mean, come on. We all know that. If you don't, please, please, please educate people around you that is any sort of fitness. If it's just walking, just whatever, you just get out and get exercise. Good for your body. Stops your joints stiffening up and stuff like that. So really important. So meditation, I'm not going to drone on because you're listening to my app, man. You're listening to my podcast, people. Reflection time's what we do every day. Reflect on the day. Just reflect over. Did I do something wrong? Could have I handled that differently? Oh, I didn't do that, but I need to get it off my mind because it's going to bug me. All these things are really important to get off your mind because we live in a world where it's just chaos, isn't it, really? I mean, we all thought that, living back in the 1920s and all that was really hard. And yeah, it was through all the bad crap that was going around, but not through the stresses of life. You know what I mean? It's the stress of life. Well, I suppose I'm just talking crap, actually. I'm not going to lie to you. I just literally clicked to me that they have like loads of poverty, prostitution, all the other good stuff. So shut up, James. Don't talk about the subject you don't know. Anyway, moving on. Number 7. Suggest joining a group around hobbies and suggest going with your friend to the first session. A must. I mean, we've spoke about that, haven't we? Come on, we spoke about that. Absolutely agree with that. Joining a group. I do that with wakeboarding, and I've invited my mate along, and he's had a go, and I've been there. He wasn't keen on it because he's got the the balance of a giraffe on a pin. So I'm just trying to read what he says there. So he's going to stumble over all the time. He's never going to stand on it, is he? So yeah, I agree with that. I do. I 100% agree with that. Yeah, must. Please do that. Explore the outdoors. Pick up litter. Plant trees. Cut the grass that doesn't belong to anyone. That's just being nice, isn't it? I mean, we should pick up litter, but we don't. Let's be honest. We all rely on the council to do that, so that's fine. Plant trees. Well, I've done that this year. Cut the grass that doesn't belong to anyone. I've done that a few times, but again, that's pretty hard, isn't it? Because, you've got electricity unless you've got a power motor. I mean, that's a very American thing, probably. You know what I mean? But to be fair, I absolutely love it. I think it's amazing to do that. Yeah, that's just being a good neighbour, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's just being a good neighbour. I mean, we should all be good neighbours. Don't be a jackass, for Christ's sake. People pay to live there in an extortionate world. So, move on. Number 9. Go for a walk with your friend. If that doesn't work, open a window and let in some fresh air. Well, that's a bit of a weird one. I'm not sure I would substitute a window with a bit of fresh air to a good walk, but I would 100% recommend a good bloody walk. Walks are incredible. I mean, I've walked for almost 3 hours with my old man, and we'll do a lot more of it in summer when we come up. And I absolutely, I've been walking with my mates. Yeah, that is really good. It's such a good thing to get out in the fresh air. Nature. We do it every Sunday in our little group. Every Sunday we all say, what you doing? And I haven't done it because I was busy this Sunday. But the guys have been putting nature photos up just of where they are and stuff. So I'm like 100% going to jump on board with that because that's great. Like, guarantees at least once a week. And we should do it more often. Don't get me wrong. You go out all the time. But I'm talking take a specified time and go for a walk in a different location and just enjoy nature. Really, that's a great point. That's a great point. Oh, I did this one, Reese's. Number 10. Number 10. In at number 10. Create a playlist for your friend. Now, feels very 80s. I'm almost thinking of, the playlist I created for my first girlfriend. So I'm not sure. That was done on a start-stop record tape recorder, so proper old school. Don't know. It's quite easy to do, but as we discovered, so I've got a little story actually with that. Actually, could relate to that. So me and my friend actually, we both logged in. We're both on Spotify, and I said, I'll create a playlist with you. And what it does is you link with your friend, and you listen to his music, and I listen to my music. Sorry, you listen to his music and he listens to your music. So, but we put it in one playlist, so they just randomize it. So I get to understand what he sort of listens to, which is really cool, because music's, the food of life, isn't it? Music's just absolutely incredible. I know some people hate it, but I think it can uplift you so much. It can take you to a different place. If you've had lots of memories and lots of experience in life, I always attach a music song to an occasion, or that could be good or bad, could be an upset time, and I've listened to a song over and over, so I can relate to it. So I think that music's really important. But we did that, and what we did discover is his Spotify is used by everybody, so it had some really random stuff, and I was like, nah, dude, I can't do that. I listened to his because I know we got similar music at Tenacious D, all that sort of stuff, but when it was coming up some of the crazy shit, I was like, nah, not doing that. But I can see how that would work if you've got a good friend, similar tastes. And I certainly had another friend of mine actually that I used to work with, used to be a really good friend of mine, and he used to send me song playlists all the time. And he actually, while I was in Saudi on a job for 3 months away from family and friends, he actually sent me a playlist. Actually, he's like, I've collated a playlist I think you'd like, because he knew my sort of kind of genre of music, because we used to talk about music all the time. So yeah, it can work. I like that's a good idea actually. Yeah, keep that up. Try and do that. Try and engage with your friend and see. You might discover some crazy sort of music or some music that might take you to a nicer place. You never know. Oh, this is a good one. So number 11, find a safe place your friend feels comfortable to chat. That's always important. Always the right environment. If you wouldn't go to your friend in work and talk in work because it's not a very private place, is it? You've got to say to him. And it's always a bit difficult to find a place to talk to your friend. I mean, I'm quite fortunate because, I've got a bar outside. So, for me personally, it's like we can come out here and just talk, and we have done. We've got drunk and we've put the world to rights, and we've got emotional. Because we've got a lot to talk about. Grown men still get emotional every now and then, but it was all because it was relevant to family. So, it wasn't just crying in each other's arms. It was an emotional time because we were talking about, kids and all that sort of stuff. And, the sort of hardships of going through as a parent, you know what I mean? So, men do feel the struggles, and it's really important. So yeah, find somewhere comfortable to chat. And also that's probably a little bit more relevant on if you're listening from your side, because, maybe you don't have and I don't mean it in a negative way, but maybe you don't have a comfortable place for your friend to talk. So try and think about that. If you'll see your friend in a sort of kind of low place and, want to think about offering a chat, just try and get to an environment where you can talk, even if that just means, do you want to meet for a pint and go to a quiet corner in a pub and just sit and have a pint and talk in an unknown location so you don't get any disturbance or anything. It could be anything. So, but yeah, I really agree with that actually. That's a really prevalent point. Find somewhere comfortable, but try and ensure you've got somewhere comfortable to chat as well, to make sure that you can be open. And that might even be just a phone call, he's gone out for a walk and you've gone out for a walk, he's gone out for a walk, and we want to talk, So, yeah, that's amazing. I really like that. It's good. It's good. Number 12. Number 12. Share self-help strategies with your friend. Here I am doing this. I do this every podcast. Self-help strategies. Anyone around me, self-help strategies. I literally, I pipe this from the rooftops every single day because I'm like, cold water therapy, meditation, reflection time, all of this, keeping your mind occupied, advancing your career prospects, all of these positive things, looking at your family surroundings, removing the toxic and negative from your life, taking the odd risk here and there, putting yourself out of your comfort zone. These are all things I'm telling you to do all the time. So yeah, 100%. But at the same time, you might have a strategy that you use that someone doesn't use, and you might go, have you thought about this? So really, sharing is caring, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's a really good point. Number 13, try to give my favourite number, by the way, believe it or not. So number 13, and it's not because I'm a rebel. And do you know where it come from? I'm going to tell you a little side story here. I kept seeing the number 13, and I know that 13 is associated normally with bad luck, isn't it? And there's a lot of films I'd watch, gangster movies, and 13 is part of that. And, I was really sort of into my hip hop and all that sort of stuff when I was a bit younger, so everyone had 13 tattooed on them. So kind of that, but the deciding factor, do you know what it was? 13 is always the perfect volume for me when I listen to music. I don't know why. In a car, wherever, I've spun the thing and it's always landed on 13. 13 has always been the perfect colour, and I just kind of nurtured that myself, really. So 13, I actually like the number 13. When everyone says, it's Friday the 13th, I really don't care. It is actually just another day. Some people do say it's literally another day, and shut your mouth. So yeah, I can understand both sides of the story on that one. Oh, this is a good one. Try to give a positive vibe and outlook. That's really important. I follow this other person actually. She's just getting into the world of well-being and stuff. And she, I've recommended her prior actually, Soul Path. She's absolutely incredible. I watch her little videos, and she's really sort of kind of making leaps and bounds with, but she does something slightly different. She tries to get you back on track with your life, so find your stresses. But she come up with a thing and saying, every time you talk, if you're constantly harbouring negative thoughts, you will constantly be negative. So if you constantly harbour positive thoughts, you will remain positive. And that's what I try to do, and that's where this is all encased in removing the toxic friends, removing the toxic people from your life, getting away from toxic relationships, moving on from a toxic work environment. These are all important steps to making the right changes for you, to make sure that you can deliver effectively and have a really sort of good life. Just have a nice life. You've got one chance at it. Don't sit there and dwell on a crap life. Make a change. So yeah, definitely give positive thoughts. Really appreciate that one. That's a really good one. Number 14, offer to give your friend a hug. Now, do you know what? I'm a hugger. I really am. I always have been. I am a very affectionate person. I shake hands because I'm very professional. And when I was 16, I walked into my first job, which was Garrison Motors. Phil Matthews, his name was, and he was he did me for my apprenticeship. And I walked in with my dad and asked him for a job. I said, I'm just looking for a job. I just want to kind of come here on a Saturday and you're willing to take me on. And I'd done it. Sorry, was I 16? Yeah, 16. And so I did part-time with him and then did a year full-time at college and worked weekends with him. And then I went on and cracked on with in fact, I finished college early. But I went and cracked on with my part-time college and, full-time education. Part-time college and full-time work. But the reason I got that job, and this is absolutely no word of a lie, when I left, or when I was saying goodbye, I said, "Thank you very much, sir," and shook his hand. And he said he's never seen such respect from a young child before. And it gave me my first 3-year apprenticeship just on the basis. Turns out he was an absolute jackass, by the way, and screwed over his employees. But anywho, it got me the job. So courteous is really important. And because I'm very affectionate, and how do I go from, well, I'm just saying I don't, so I shake hands professionally to get me professional. If I meet someone, I'm professional to shake a hand. But a friend or a family member, I love a big hug. And anybody that's sat here knows that I love a hug. I really do. And I give a fucking amazing hug because I'm a big bear. I'm a big bear and I just love hugging. And I'm very affectionate. It's one of my biggest downfalls in life, if I'm brutally honest, because I do rely on emotion and affection, and it's something that I struggle to look for all the time, and I can be quite demanding with it, because I am affectionate, and hugging is, yeah, and do you know what? This is, I think it's, I'd like to say it's no word of a lie, but all you Google monsters will be out there, but I think it's 30 seconds. I'll say I think, but it's what I do anyway. You're supposed to hold in fact, I'm gonna find. No, you're supposed to hold a hug for something like, I think it's 30 seconds. Yeah, 30 seconds. You're supposed to hold a hug for 30 seconds. Someone Google me that just in case I'm wrong. But anyway, it's what I do. So I always hold a 30 seconds. It's that perfect time for me where it doesn't feel too awkward that I'm holding on too long, and it doesn't feel like I've just quickly embraced and we've ended up stumbling and I've ended up grabbing a boob, getting a knee in the bollocks, and we stumble forward and I give her a brush side kiss on the cheek which reaches to her earlobe. Do you know what I mean? I'm sorry, and then you stumble around. Has it happened? No. But anyway. So yeah, I think that's the perfect time to embrace, hold a hug, and what it does is that in that 30 seconds you actually release a lot of endorphins and endorphins, and is it not pheromones? I can't remember the other one I'm looking for, but it releases all the endorphins and it just makes you feel happy. It's the way we connect. It's a really basic impulse. What you're supposed to do, they reckon you're supposed to do, is walk around a field holding hands with somebody, and I don't, whatever you want. I wouldn't recommend it with your male friends if you're male. In that sense, it might get a bit funny with you. I don't know, but with your partner. To create bond, is you walk around a field with no feet on, so you're grounded to the earth, and then you're supposed to embrace for a 30-second hug to release all the endorphins, and it's supposed to make you feel incredible. But yeah, definitely give a hug. Right, number 15. In at 15. Try to make your friend laugh. Well, I do that all the fucking time. I'm always I literally, like, if I'm not trying to have a laugh and trying to do some stupid shit, then it's not worth being around. I was quite a negative person for the last 10 years, and I've noticed now I get called childish quite a lot, which is fine. I literally don't take offence to it, not at all. But I get called childish quite a few times because that's where I am, and I do some really childish shit, and I like that. But it can be quite annoying when you're a 40-year-old bloke being childish. But I don't want to ever grow up in that sense. I always want to be childish because it brings laughter. I don't want to be serious. I'm serious now in my job. I don't want to do it. I just don't want to do it. And I'm sick of putting that mask on now. I'm actually sick of it. So I go, this is who I am now. I'm honest. This is what I want. If you don't fucking want it, let's move on. You know what I mean? If you don't like who I am, let's move on. I'm not going to fucking hold anything. Thanks very much. Great time. Great experience. Loved it. But we got one chance. Let's enjoy it. Fucking hell, man. I don't want to sit here and dwell on it. If you think I'm a dick, move on. I'm not really bothered, unless you mean a lot to me, of course. And then I'll be fucking devastated. But, yeah, definitely. I think you should always try and make your friends laugh. It's a fine line between making your friend laugh and making friends laugh at the expense of a friend and things like that. So just be cautious about how you do it, and don't belittle somebody for your own gratification either, because you might be finding it hilarious and they're not laughing and you're still laughing. You think, oh, well, at least I laughed. Well, no, you didn't. You fucking laughed at someone's expense. So don't be a dick. So yeah, really important. Try and make your friends laugh, man. That's amazing. I've got a comedy night this year, actually. I'm going to book a comedy night. My brother got it for my 40th, so I need to engage with him now and let him know I want to do it's down in Bournemouth. So comedy nights are incredible. So I might even see if I can get some additional tickets, actually, and invite my other two friends across, or whoever wants to come along, really. But it's in Bournemouth. I think it's in April, I think. But yeah, definitely. Number 16, try to make your friend understand they're not alone. Well, that's a really important thing. I mean, that's obvious. That's obvious, isn't it? You're not a friend if you're not there supporting them. You're not a friend. Piss off. You're not a friend. So I'm not even going to dwell on that shit. Number 17, be kind and supportive to your friend. Again, I'm not going to dwell on that, because if you're not being supportive and kind, you're not a fucking friend. So piss off. I'm not even going to entertain that. 18, encourage your friends to be themselves without fear or judgment. Again, that's just being a friend. If you want to be, you're going to be a friend. If that guy is being a dick all the time, then you're not going to be a friend. If he's been a dick at once, like I said, you've gone out and got pissed or something, and he's been a dick, so what? Don't judge him. You're pissed. Nah, put it to bed, mate. Fucking hell, Christ almighty. The shit that I've done drunk, you know what I mean? Move on. So yeah, you should be. That just comes with being a friend. And we're on the wind down as well now here. So here we go. Number 19, this is in different colour as well, special times. Do some creative well-being activities from the Youth Mental First Aid Kit. I don't know what that is. Well, that was a different colour, because maybe I didn't need to say it, because I don't know what that is. Youth Mental Health First Aid Kit. Do just well-being. This is what this is. Well-being, people. This is cool. Okay, we finished on a high. Come on. Reminisce on happy memories. That's important. Come on. I'm going to close that down and talk to you. Yeah, really important. You always dwell on memories. That's what we're here to do. I said about the purpose of life, didn't I, the other day? And the purpose of life, although the raw aspect of the purpose of life is to, survive. It's not. The purpose of life, you're going to survive at some point, unless something really bad happens to you, get an illness or whatever. That's the only thing that's going to blow you out of the water. But ultimately, if you just go through life, and you'll survive. So you don't need to really worry about that. If you don't do stupid shit, you'll be all right. But what we do need to worry about is, enjoying it, making memories, and reflecting on those memories. And that's what I'm talking about. That's why you get together, you talk about the memories, and you go, remember when I did this? Or even now, you could you talk about the memories. You had a great night on Saturday, and you're still talking about it the following week, you piece of shit or whatever, and they're all memories, and they're there for a reason, because memories are what keep us together. They're what give us that bond. I've tried to erase memories, trust me, but you can't. They're there, and they normally come up and bite you in the arse at the wrong time. But just try to reflect on them, really. I'm going to just take a sip before I wind on down. Hold on. Lovely job. Lovely gin to finish on. Anyway, sorry, I'm getting carried away. It's the gin. So there you go, supporting a friend. That was, do you know what? I've learnt loads from that. Actually, I'm glad I saved that, and I'm glad that's been presented to me. And I hope you've got some worth out of that. Really, take some notes. I hope you've taken notes for that. And some of the stuff is, we should do anyway. And I think that if you're not doing about 60% of those, you're not really a friend, really, are you? Let's be honest. If you're doing the opposite to about 60% of those, you're being a bit of a dick. So yeah, that's really important to make sure. And if, I know it's always harsh to say, but, if somebody stopped talking to you, then, maybe you were the dick. And trust me, I've had to swallow that pill, I'm telling you, because I think that is probably why I've lost some friendship. But, hey, I've always described myself as Marmite. You either love me or hate me. Have I ever been bothered about it? No, because I give so much to the people that want to come along for the ride, and yes, I can be a bit hard work, and yes, I can be emotional, and yes, I can be a bit nuts and do some stupid shit. But I'm just experiencing life. I don't do anything normally, try not to anyway, at the detriment of someone else's mental health or their well-being or their structure in their life. I don't do anything like that. I'll always do it for my own self. So yeah, it's really important to nurture the right sort of process and everything else. So anyway, I'm not gonna drone on. That was really, I got loads out of that. I really did, and I hope you did actually. And I'm actually going to put that photo as the picture because I think that's really important as well. So you can see the little words I was working off. Maybe you want to take them as a reference point for later on and write down some points. Maybe those points have given you that to listen to this podcast and go and message somebody. All these things are really important to keep on top. And like they've rightly said in that picture, keep in touch with your friends. And if you're doing something, invite them along. That's actually how you become friends as well, by the way. When you invite someone along and it doesn't become a one-way friendship, which again I've been privy to in some of my friendships where everything's one-sided, and you get to the point where you're like, fuck that, I'm not really interested anymore. And there's always excuses, and I can't be doing with that. I think that we're all old enough and adult enough now. I mean, I look at my parents now and they have every single day free, you know what I mean? So, and they do loads at the weekends, and they've always said to me, I'm sorry, we haven't seen you for ages, or we're busy for the next couple of weeks. I'm like, I don't care. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I want them to enjoy themselves. I want them to see their friends. This is my life. That's their life. As long as we get our fix with our parents and the people we want to see, that's fine. They're enjoying their life with their friends, and it's a balance, isn't it, then, between family and friends? And I'll have to have that balance at one point. But then my daughters will be going off and doing their own thing in life. So I acknowledge that. Then I'm going to have my weekends and weeknights free all the time without the burden of, I say burden, again, not negative, but without the burden. It has to be, it is a burden. Children, they can be a burden on you financially and emotionally. So it's not negative, but it's what it is. So, all that's to come. All that's to come. So, but thank you for listening. I hope you've got loads out of this. Don't forget, please don't forget to rate and follow the podcast. Yeah, really amazing work. And just so I get to see the stats going up, and feedback, keep that feedback coming. Any feedback on any of my podcasts, I'm learning as I go along. It's really important to grow. So thanks for listening, and hope you have the rest of the week. I'm not going to lie to you. If I don't get a podcast done tomorrow, it's probably not going to happen until Sunday, because I have the party on Friday. So super excited to catching up. I haven't seen my actual best mate for weeks, and I'm looking forward to catching up with him, and I'm looking forward to catching up with another friend of mine who's coming over. It's going to be absolutely incredible. In fact, I got two, so it's going to be there's three, so it's going to be absolutely incredible meeting new people. It's going to be good, so I'm really excited about that, and keep in touch with those people, and maybe send a text message at the end of this and organise something, or look to say, let's do something. This may be the wake up call you needed. So enjoy the rest of your evening, and I look forward to talking to you again soon. Take care.